Right, so here we are, everyone. This is this week's instalment of our Elvis Memorabilia session. And to start with, as I say, we've got a special 50 edition anniversary Elvisly Yours. And we've got another monthly subscription magazine and some newspaper cuttings. So to start with, we'll come forward and start with the Elvisly Yours magazine. On the front page here is, as I say, issue number 16, and so this has obviously been out for some time at this point in time. I think this one could be USA and Britain, because it's got both there. Right, so to start with, here we go, we got nice two pictures of Elvis there, one on a boat, and one just looking at the camera. This is your Elvis fan club stuff. Another two nice pictures there of Elvis. Take it, this is another one of them ones where Elvis was getting married at some point in his films, I'd say. Memphis 1984. These are just close-ups of some of his items, obviously like Graceland, his own childhood home, his rings, his coach. He owned a coach that used to travel around America, and obviously as well the Lisa Marie. He owned that too. Nice Elvis poster there. Alright, so some clips out of his movies, I think. Buy his glasses as well, obviously not the real ones. Not much going on in this one this week. That's a 50th anniversary one, but I suppose I'm more looking at the pictures and stuff that they're showing this week. So, yeah, there we have it. That's that one. Right, so I'm sorry everyone, this one doesn't have a cover. It must have torn off at some point in time, but I thought I'd show it nonetheless because this one is interesting. There's a stamp you can buy. I think Elvis stamps you can get, like in America. I don't know if you can still get them or not, but maybe. And sorry everyone, there was no date on this either, so I can't really tell you when this one was made, this magazine. Elvis there in his younger days. Elvis is signing autograph for fans, or for the ladies I should say. Remember this gold suit Elvis had? It was things like that that propelled him into fame. Look at that, a room full of trophies and whatnot of Elvis. There's a whole room full of them. Plaques and trophies and awards and stuff. Elvis's beginnings, as you can see, that's the home he grew up in. That's like Elvis's dining room, and then that's Elvis as a just probably teenager maybe, and then his mum Gladys, and then the family, mum, dad and Elvis. Maybe at that point he might have been a bit famous by then. There we go, there's the great Lisa Marie, and that's her when she was younger. This is 1990, this picture was taken. It's absolutely beautiful, Lisa Marie. And the cross between her mum and Elvis. And then that's when Lisa had kids with Danny Keown. And I think she went on to marry Nicolas Cage after that, I think. Elvis. This is in Las Vegas, if I remember rightly, this one. Look. Yeah, legends. Joey Bishop, Frank Sinatra, Elvis, Nancy Sinatra, Sammy Davis Jr. The final, what's this now? This is Time Shows 1960. It was a TV special under premise of Welcome Home to Elvis. Yeah, like this is obviously this one here, it's the same thing, but I never actually seen this one with Sammy Davis Jr. and Nancy Sinatra in it too. So that's something I have to go and check out. This scene I've seen with Frank Sinatra and Elvis singing together. This is very famous, this one. And then after that, as I say, Frank didn't really like him at first when he first come about on the scene, but after he knew that Elvis went in the army and done his time and come out, and so Frank Sinatra said, I respect that kid, let's help him out, and that's what they did. And then that's why Elvis in the end respected Frank Sinatra by singing stuff like My Way and things like that out of respect for Frank Sinatra. Because when he came out the army, he did help a lot to get Elvis back on his feet. Just more movie stuff and clips. So, again, Elvis with the ladies. poster of Elvis. Elvis and the Colonel. Elvis when he just bought Graceland. This was like the first, these are famous pictures, this one is. These are like the first month or something like that when he bought Graceland. So just there in these two pictures had just taken it on. So that was one of his first biggest assets was Graceland. Which back then I think he paid something like maybe 5 million for it, but realistically it was a lot more than that because back then the inflation was a lot lower. Yeah, there we go. If you want me to go back through some of these, I'd be quite happy to. I'm not sure who these people are. There we go, like Nicolas Cage, as I say, he married Lisa Marie at some point in time. And then he even did an Elvis movie, I do remember that. It wasn't all that good, but he did it. Alright, there we go. That's it, everyone, on that one. Right, so what we'll do is get some newspapers out for you now. So to start with, this is the Disco Music Echo, and this is from March 6th, 1971. So Elvis would have still been alive at this point in time. Presley, and this is the way he is. The Elvis legend in action. So far, British fans have had to take the King's sensational live performances at a venue like the International Hotel in Las Vegas. But his latest film, This Is the Way, which from these shots were taken, should prove that Elvis really is as big as his reputation. So I think the British fans in a way are just moaning that he still hasn't gone over there and performed for us, because the Colonel was just holding him back for some reason. No one really knows why. I think because the Colonel couldn't leave the country himself, so he made Elvis not leave it. Right, this is the weekly news, and this is from January 15th, 1972. And as I tell you everyone, these are all original papers. None of these are prints or copies or anything. You know, it's all original. Right, the private life of Elvis Presley. Front page of the news for 1972. And this paper, you see it here, costs 3 pence. See, this paper costs 3 pence. The screen romance, and then obviously personal romance. He paid $4 to make the first record as a present for his mother. So yeah, that first record that he cut, it was just a gift for his mum, and then that record just took off and blew up. And then from there, started piling in. That's this one. Elvis cried all the way home. It took him weeks to get over it. It says here he wanted to marry schoolgirl sweetheart, but his mother discouraged the romance. This is the weekly news again from 1972. That's that. Private life and show business legends. Elvis, on the poor side of the rails in East Toledo, Mississippi, lived a young farm worker named Vernon Elvis Presley, a teenage sewing machine operator named Gladys Smith. That was her name, Gladys Smith, before they got married, I guess. Yeah, that's that there. And I think so there's nothing on the back of that. That was that. And I got this one. Elvis is the King Evening Mail special souvenir, and there's no date on this that I can see, sorry. There's no Evening Mail special souvenir, and this cost 12 pence, everyone. Back then, 12 pence for a newspaper. That was a lot of money too. If I can find the date, I'll let you know. This paper does look really old. This is more like his younger days, I imagine. Priscilla getting married, Lisa Marie, Priscilla, Army. A whole newspaper dedicated to him. The King rides out. He used to have these sort of, I don't know, quad bikes, if you really want to call them that. Sorry, yeah, there we go. He used to have like these quad bikes, and he used to just go around the town racing them. People used to try and get a glimpse of him. That's a big, massive poster there. My last goodbye, it says at the top. So it says here, he never been replaced. So it's like Jimi Hendrix, legend, and Janis Joplin, legend. You know what I mean? And them type of people, they are legends in history. They won't, you know, like he was a left-handed guitarist, and that back in those days was nearly unheard of. Like he made so much music out of being a left-handed guitarist, it was crazy. He could do things with a guitar that no one else could. Music maker, theme was love. They dedicated a whole newspaper to Elvis there. Brilliant. So it looks a bit worn down, but this paper's got to be from the early 70s. It just doesn't feel right. This one, just the back of it. And there we have it. There we go, everyone. That's today's instalment of Elvis and his memorabilia. So if you enjoyed that, then please stick around, because we've got a lot more to show, a lot more to still come, and this is still just not even the tip of the iceberg yet. So yeah, please make sure you stick around, like and subscribe, and I'll be back again with many more memorabilia from Elvis and treasures and antiques and stuff for you. So thank you, everyone, and also if you want me to re-show any of this that I've maybe missed or something, then please feel free to ask and I'll 100% show it. So thank you, everyone, for watching. Have a good day, and I'll see you soon.